All right, let's take a look at some Roquan Smith film from the Ravens' 10-9 win over the Broncos. 11 tackles, 6 solos, I think 2 tackles for losses. There's at least 3 plays in here that show you his explosiveness, his unbelievable recognition, his ability to read keys, probably recognize formations pre-snap, and kind of anticipate what's getting ready to happen. Anticipate basically meaning he knows what's coming. Also, 2 pass drops here that I'm going to show you. Actually, definitely one where you see the tremendous depth that he gets, and then how quickly he recognizes the underneath route is what's going to be targeted, and he can recover and get involved. That depth of that pass drop is incredibly important because on throws over top of the second level, over top of the linebacker and nickel level, and in front of the DB level, you want to be as deep as possible as a linebacker to force the quarterback to throw it over the top. You give the DBs, give the secondary an opportunity to recover, regardless of what the coverage is. Now, having said that, you can't get too much depth and give up all the underneath stuff. So there's a fine line there. To me, Roquan Smith does a great job of straddling that line and almost being in 2 places at once. I can't wait to see him on the field with Marcus Williams. I really think our defense is going to be able to move to another level just because of how smart Marcus Williams is and how he does the same thing that Roquan Smith does. He basically is in 2 places at the same time. So I want to show you this play first. It's actually the last one. Late in the game, I think. It's jokers. Here's Smith. So jokers means there's 2 running backs in the backfield. The angle is awesome. He moves over to the boundary, I think because he knows who's getting the football. I'm not sure how we know that. It's 2 tailbacks. Hamilton is there. He runs through, around, this blocker. And then the running back, Murray, the lead, is going out on Humphrey. And he's able to finish it one-on-one. A little bit of help from Hamilton. Over here towards the sideline. No yard. I think this is actually a tackle for loss. I think this is a brilliant play. Just a sweep into the boundary. The Broncos, are, planning on us having the nickel defender to the field, and we're not. Hamilton is down here. Hamilton initially looks like he's going to get blocked, maybe, taken over by the left tackle. And then that's a left tackle. That's a starting left tackle in the NFL. Kyle Hamilton's able to shed off of and then pursue and take a great angle. It doesn't finish the tackle off, but he's there with Roquan Smith. We have a tremendously talented group of guys up front, and a lot of them are very young. All right, a run concept to his side. The back is a little deeper than the quarterback. There's a couple things to say about this about other guys. Like, look at the penetration that Calais Campbell gets on that same left tackle I was telling you that Kyle Hamilton was able to shed. So we're talking about right here. Watch this vertical push that Campbell was able to get on that left tackle. I mean, look at the other offensive lineman. You got one who's working up to Patrick Queen. These guys are all in a line, and you have this guy who's pushed 2.5 yards in the backfield. Meanwhile, here's Roquan Smith trying to track the running back and allow himself to fit, on the front side if possible, or on the back side in between, I think, Broderick Washington and Justin Madubuike, which is where he fits perfectly. First guy in contact against Latavius Murray. Awesome read. Awesome fit. I think they did get the first down. He's on with Queen. Man, when we've got Queen, Smith, and Hamilton next to each other, our speed, our recognition, our playmaking ability, I think, is awesome. The screen to Dulcich, who's a tremendously talented tight end. Really unique player. You had the run action going in this direction. You can see the Smith and Queen began to react there. Then they're able to push back. But Roquan Smith never gets back in a pass drop because he's already recognized screen. So look at how quickly he's recognizing this. Now, we can't say, this is not to say, like, he recognizes this quicker than Patrick Queen. He's on the other side of the ball. He's on the other side of the midline. So he's able to see guys that Queen cannot. And I think he sees this, right guard moving out while the center is pass proing, I think, Broderick Washington. And he's able to get involved. I think it's still a 4-yard gain. maybe 5. Four three look now. He's the Mike. Harrison, Queen. Pretty cool. 12 personnel. This is the pass drop that I was talking about. It's underneath to the running back. 6-yard gain, so it's a positive play for the Broncos. On the play, he's at his feet, his toes are at the 28. Look at the depth he gets. His foot is back here on the 36. So from the 28, if I did my math right, that's 8 yards. Let's call it 7.5. 7.5, almost 8 yards. And the line of scrimmage is at the 24. So his drop, meaning the depth of his drop, he got from the 24, which was the line of scrimmage, to the 36. So that's 12 yards from the line of scrimmage. So from here to there, 7 or 8, really should be 8, but I'm being conservative with it. And then he's able to come up and redirect. He's just so much quicker, so much more agile than our other guys in terms of changing direction. And then combine that with the recognition, and you get somebody who can impact these routes here. I'm talking about, these routes here, which I think is what you get. Might be switched from that. And force the quarterback to go off of that read sooner and check it down. Yeah, I had drawn it up backwards, I think, with those two routes from Dulcich and the receiver. Just an example of how he reacts while he's getting great depth. And that's even, I don't want to say rare in the NFL, but it's not like every guy does that. Take a look at Denver's inside linebackers. Played very well Sunday. It's not like they're getting great depth unless they're lining up deep. Tackle for loss in the backfield. This is brilliant by the Ravens. Brilliant strategy, brilliant recognition. And there's a lot of people who, don't understand what's going on here. Why is Patrick Queen blitzing away from the play? We recognize that there's 2 tight ends here, and we're in our 4-3 look. So Harrison is playing, weak side outside linebacker. We've kicked him inside. So we got a 4-3 look, and backside we've got a 5, which I think is Urban. We've got a 1 or a shade nose. We got our 3, which is Matabike, and then this will be our 9, but technically, he's head up on the second tight end. We're blitzing Queen across the 3 technique intentionally. If it's run away, he'll chase it down from behind, or he'll have an opportunity to really disrupt the scheme. If it's run to him, you're like, well, he's vacating a zone. Nope. We're overlapping. It's a zone scheme. So Smith is just able to overlap it. Basically like the letter X. Queen here, Smith late here, and you can see the design of it is such, I think, that Houston is hell-bent on not ending up inside on this run concept, leaving a huge gap, you'll see it from the end zone angle in a moment, for Roquan Smith and Chuck Clark to fill. Geno Stone, excuse me. End zone angle, you'll see, I think it's Dulcich, comes off late. Dulcich and 87 are going to go after Houston, and you'll get Queen on a blitz and Roquan on the overlap. Brilliant play. Had to be some pre-snap communication. That's not accidental. That's not just something that occurs. That happens because we understand the scheme that we're going to get. We're getting a double here. We're going to double here, a combo up to the backside guy. Well, the problem is the backside guy, Roquan, has now folded over to the front side, and they can't get to him. That's by design. Now, if it had been... Now, Roquan's just on the back. If it had been run this way, let's just say it had been run that way, Queen is going to go ahead and hit it, and then Roquan can go ahead and track the back as well. Queen would then have to be on the backside hip of the running back. Broderick Washington also wins and gets to the backside. Beautiful play. Credit to Patrick Queen. Like, he also was a part of, I don't know why I have this play included here. Patrick Queen was a big part of why Roquan was able to get that tackle for loss. This is encouraging. First of all, Smith's here. We'll run it 2 or 3 times. I saw this twice yesterday, maybe 3 times. We're now wrong-arming some out of our nickel. We had not done this previously. We had set it inside. So we're going to talk about Justin Houston here in a moment. Queen actually makes the first fit here, makes the first contact. Roquan's involved. But you get in a down. If you're Justin Houston and you're reading the tackle's block, which is what he's doing, you're getting a down. So you're unblocked initially. You're not just going to run upfield because you now can see the backfield. You can see that there's a potential for the ball to be handed off. Could be play action. So you're not just going to take off upfield and then this tight end be able to kick you out. That would just create a seam, up underneath. Another way to play it is to step down just like you did and then take your left shoulder into the tight end. It's a split zone concept, basically. Kick out. Nope, that's not what we're doing here. We're wrong arming it. Look at Houston. That's his right arm dug down to like the hip level of the tight end. What's that do? It allows Queen to overlap. Very similar to the last play I showed you, or 2 plays ago, I think, where Queen was the blitzer, and then Roquan Smith was just able to overlap it. Basically like the letter X. It's the same concept here with Houston and Queen. Houston, Queen. Just a gap exchange. Roquan's there as well. One thing to say about Roquan, watch where he's fitting initially. I think he understands the concept. I really think he understands where this ball has got to go. It has to go, because Houston is going to wrong arm it, it's going to have to bounce outside. Roquan's going to take the front side gap here. That's just team defense. He understands this is not my tackle to make out here. I'm not just going to take off running. That's Patrick's job, and Queen's got to handle. Smart player, unselfish. I'm talking about Roquan. Patrick Queen, too. Smart, unselfish, aggressive, pissed off. The way a linebacker should be. I love how Queen and Smith are playing right now, for real. Great tackle on Latavius Murray on, I think, a 3rd down. So it's not a clean, huge tackle. But a couple things to say about it. Watch the depth he gets. Watch the depth he gets here. And then watch his helmet. There is a route developing, to his outside that he's fitting in the window of. And you guys can just barely see it a little bit there at the bottom of your screen. So he's forcing the underneath passes by the quarterbacks and then rallying to it with his agility, his speed, and his recognition. You can see him looking at that route developing to his outside. Kyle Hamilton is there. Smith is just trying to make sure the ball's not thrown there. Once it's thrown to Latavius Murray underneath, go make the tackle. I think it was 3rd and 7, and they got 5 yards. Team defense, smart defense, keeping things in front. I mean, that's what the Broncos just did to us, right? In terms of their defense, they kept everything in front, played soft. Generally, on 3rd down, they played some man. Same play concept. I'd like to talk about this play a little bit more at length in a separate video because it starts off with 3 safeties. I pulled this, play because of Roquan. I want to talk about the 3 safety look. You got 3 safeties here. No one lined up over the slot, so you could have some now routes there, some 2-man bubbles, whatever. But if they do run a bubble and they block here and run a bubble, I mean, we got Roquan running inside out, got Hamilton coming down. I still feel like we're in good position, but some people say it's a college defense. Whatever. As it relates to the 3 safeties, you don't know what we're going to do with them. Hamilton steps down to take the slot, and we roll here and here to deep halves. Looks like we're zoning off there. Looks like maybe we've got a man call here on the backside with Peters. I'm all for that. I mean, if Marcus is a better man defender than he is in our read coverages, like, why not do that sometimes if it's a backside call? Backside of the formation, meaning one receiver, the X. Another joker set. I think a pass play this time. And he gets involved. He's got great range. A lot of guys getting after the football. You get a vertical by 2, or push past him by 2, and then 1 running under. He knows we got 2 DBs to his side. He's going to let the vertical go and just run with the under over top of it. I love it. Check down. Yeah, they get some yards. That is generally what we're giving up. That is what the design is that we're giving up. I don't know why that plays in there twice. Is the shorter routes, at least against the Broncos. They did have a big pass to Dulcich. I think a big one to Judy. So in terms of Roquan and Queen, I think they're being coached to give up the shorter routes generally in a manner that forces the quarterback to do these things and then lets us go and make the tackle. A little bit softer, especially, comparing to Wink's coverages, but we also got beat by running backs often in our man coverage with Wink the last couple of years. Back to that first play I showed you, Roquan, I feel like this just shows you his commitment, his anticipation, reads, speed, and physicality once he gets there to go ahead and be a bigger man than the running backs he's tackling in a lot of cases. Latavius Murray, big dude, don't get me wrong. I thought Roquan handled him just fine, one-on-one. I think he's played great. I think it was Jason that huddled up films last week. Maybe Coach Evans. I can't remember. It was one of those two. Put something on Twitter that, talking about how Roquan played against Jacksonville. Said something like, Roquan Smith is like pizza. Even when it's not great, it's still very good in terms of how he played against Jacksonville. I don't remember him being as impactful against Jacksonville as I do yesterday against the Broncos. 11 tackles, 6 TFLs, 6 solos, 2 TFLs is a pretty damn good game. Extrapolate that out over the course of the season, 11 tackles in a 17-game season, that's a great season. Seems to be par for the course for Roquan Smith. Huge asset. Having him, Queen, Hamilton, all there at the second level. We have so much range. We're so fast and so smart there with those guys. I think we're really blessed. I think we've got a defense that can win games, even, with Lamar probably not playing against the Steelers this week. And I would say if the knee is compromised at all, we should not put him out there. Let me know what you think of how Roquan Smith played in the comment section. If you think him and Queen are really developing into a dynamic duo, it seems like it to me. It seems like on one play, Smith is Batman and Queen is Robin, and on the next play, Smith is Robin and Queen is Batman. It just seems like we almost got 2 Batman in there. And Hamilton, I don't know which superhero he is. Those 3 together at the second level are really elite right now, and I think offer us a chance to stop a lot of play concepts just because of their recognition, their range, their athletic ability, and then their tackling ability. They've been sure tacklers a lot recently. Appreciate you guys' time. Let me know what you think of the video in the comments section.